Hello and welcome to the Doc Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Mike DeLuke, and it's my mission to help you lead a happier, healthier, and more prosperous life, both personally and professionally. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Motivational Mondays. I'm Dr. Mike, and today I'm coming to you from the beautiful Adirondack Mountains. I've been blessed to have spent every summer of my life here with family and friends, relaxing on the lake, boating, water skiing, and hiking in the woods. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about the benefits of nature. When I was growing up, I doubt I was consciously aware of the impact this exposure to the beauties of nature was having on my cognitive development and psyche. I just knew I loved spending time at the lake. In fact, it probably wasn't until I was running my own practice that I realized what a blessing it was to be able to get away from the busyness, stress, craziness, and noise of everyday life and spend time with family and friends in nature. After a crazy, stressful week, there was nothing I looked forward to more than heading to our camp, as we call it in the Northeast, for the weekend. I could literally feel the stress and tension dissipating and my blood pressure lowering with every mile of the hour-long drive. Why is that? Why do I feel such a deep sense of relaxation after only driving an hour from my office to a lake in the Adirondacks? And why is it such a different experience than when we stayed at home for the weekend or if I drove south toward New York City? One reason is definitely the fun and excitement associated with activities like boating, water skiing, wake surfing, and hiking. But it's more than that. There's a subconscious peace and serenity that comes over me as I approach my remote destination, long before I partake in any of those fun activities. And it lasts until we'd head back home on Sunday evening. To help answer that question, let's look at what the data say. A 2015 Nielsen Total Audience Report found that our increasing reliance on technology, combined with a global trend towards urban living, means many of us are spending less time than ever outdoors, even as scientists compile evidence of the value of spending time outdoors. The American Psychiatric Association reports that from a stroll through a city park to a walk on the beach to a day spent hiking in the wilderness, exposure to nature has been linked to a host of benefits, including improved attention, lower stress, better mood, reduced risks of psychiatric disorders, and even upticks in empathy and cooperation. Both correlational and experimental research have shown that interacting with nature has cognitive benefits as well. In fact, a 2019 study published in Current Directions in Psychological Science found that being exposed to natural environments improves working memory, cognitive flexibility, and attentional control, while exposure to urban environments, contrarily, is linked to attention deficits. A 2015 article published in the International Journal of Environmental Psychology proposed various theories to explain this. The first is the biophilia hypothesis, which argues that since our ancestors evolved in wild settings and relied on the environment for survival, we have this innate drive to connect with nature. The second is the stress reduction hypothesis, which posits that spending time in nature triggers a psychological response that lowers stress levels. While the third idea is the attention restoration theory, which holds that nature replenishes one's cognitive resources, restoring the ability to concentrate and pay attention. The authors concluded that the truth may be a combination of all three factors. In 2019, Dr. Gregory Bratman found, from studying at the University of Washington, he shared evidence that contact with nature is associated with actual increases in happiness, subjective well-being, positive affect, positive social interactions, and a sense of meaning and purpose in life. It even decreases mental distress. Another study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences in 2019 found that children who lived in neighborhoods with more green space had a reduced risk of many psychiatric disorders later in life, including depression, mood disorders, schizophrenia, eating disorders, and substance use disorder. For those with the lowest levels of green space exposure during childhood, the risk of developing mental illness was 55% higher than for those who grew up with abundant green space. There also may be value in more remote locations versus just green spaces carved out of a busy city. In a 2019 study published in Environment and Behavior, they studied 4,515 subjects and found that people who visited rural and coastal locations reportedly felt more connected to nature and more restored than those who just visited a green space in an urban area carved out in that urban community. So the data are clear that exposure to the peace and tranquility of nature is good for the mind, body, and soul. Perhaps that is the reason why I felt my blood pressure lower with every mile of my drive. To close, I ask you to think about these two questions. Number one, how much time do you spend outdoors each week? Number two, how does that compare to the number of hours you spend indoors staring at a screen? If you're like most of us, the preponderance of your time is spent indoors on a screen, not outside in nature. And odds are that it's taking a toll on your mental and physical health, possibly in ways you aren't even aware. Maybe this is part of the reason why so many in society today are stressed out, burned out, and on the verge of depression. I'm going to challenge you to do something to improve your health. Commit to spending more time outside. Even if it's a walk around the neighborhood at lunchtime or sitting outside to have your coffee on a weekend morning, get outside. If you live in an urban environment, make it part of your routine to get to a local park at least once a week and plan trips to nearby rural or coastal areas. And when you are outside, please try to resist the temptation to spend that time on your phone or laptop. Instead, spend it focusing on your surroundings, breathing the fresh air, and appreciating the beauty of nature. I promise that exposing yourself to nature in this way will bring you a tremendous sense of peace and serenity, make you healthier and happier, and help you be the best spouse, parent, friend, and professional you can be. Have a great day and a great week, everyone. And remember, you have been blessed with the ability to do amazing things. Thank you for watching this episode of the Doc Podcast. Be sure to visit theorthocoach.com to get access to CE courses or schedule a private one-on-one coaching session with me. And remember to join the Doc community on Locals for more great content designed to help you succeed both personally and professionally. Just go to Locals and search for the Doc community. You can also find Doc on Instagram at @theorthocoach. And remember, you have the power to do amazing things.